Have you ever wondered why some people seem to float through life, never quite finding the love they desire? You may have seen individuals put their hearts on the line only to experience heartbreak time and time again. You might think, what's wrong with me? Or is it just bad luck? But what if I told you that this isn't merely a matter of chance, but rather a divine sign, a sign that Allah is guiding you away from something you may not yet understand? My dear brothers and sisters, not everyone is meant to travel the same road in life. Some people find themselves distanced from love and romantic attachment for reasons far beyond our limited perception. In Islam, when Allah removes someone or something from our lives, it is always infused with wisdom and purpose. The renowned Islamic scholar Imam Shafi, may Allah have mercy on him, expressed the essence of this beautifully. If you knew how Allah deals with your affairs for you, your heart would melt out of love for Him. So before you view your situation as misfortune, before heartbreak consumes you entirely, let us unveil the reasons why some people are kept away from romance. Together we will discover what these circumstances truly signify in the grand design of Allah. The first reason that Allah is sheltering you from the pain of unworthy relationships is that He protects you from the wrong person. Have you experienced forming a deep connection with someone only for it to crumble unexpectedly? Perhaps you believed they were the one only to have the universe pull the rug from under you. At the moment it felt deeply unfair, but in retrospect you may realize that had you stayed, it could have resulted in significant suffering. In Islam, it's vital to understand that repeated disappointments can often signify protection rather than punishment. Allah removes individuals from your life because He knows what you do not. The Quran reminds us, but perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, or perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you do not know. We live in a society overflowing with casual relationships that lead many people to heartache and betrayal. Some rush headlong into romance, unaware that they may be courting their own emotional ruin. When you find that your desires are not met, it could simply be Allah saving your heart from something destructive. The question remains, do you trust Allah's plan, or do you keep chasing after what He is trying to pull you away from? Real tranquility arises the moment you accept that Allah's wisdom far exceeds your immediate desires. The second reason that Allah is protecting you is when He nudges you away from what could compromise your faith. The present day approach to relationships often reduces them to fleeting moments of pleasure, devoid of true commitment. People engage in romances for enjoyment, rarely realizing the emotional scars such connections can leave behind. When the wrong person holds your heart, it may lead you into a state of spiritual blindness. Before you know it, you might find yourself justifying actions that oppose your values, eroding your purpose and your connection with Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us of this danger when he said, "When a man and a woman are alone together, the third one present is Satan." Many may dismiss this serious warning, thinking that their intentions make them exempt from harm. Consider the countless individuals who have sacrificed their spiritual well-being for relationships based on haram, forbidden activities. If you find yourself in a continuous struggle to discover love, perhaps Allah is safeguarding your heart from corruption. He understands that misguided love may lead to ruin, while the right kind of love, one rooted in faith and sincerity, will ultimately draw you closer to Him. The real challenge is whether you will be patient and trust Allah, or whether you will pursue something He is clearly keeping you away from. The third reason that Allah might be preserving your heart is that He wants you to concentrate on something of greater significance. Have you ever encountered individuals who seem so consumed by their quest for love, chasing relationships endlessly, only to find pain? On the other hand, there are those whose lives are directed by a higher purpose that transcends romance. When romance feels distant, it may be Allah's way of guiding you toward higher aspirations, encouraging you to invest your time and energy in personal growth, enhancing your faith, and concentrating on your future. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, wisely stated, "Whoever focuses on the hereafter, Allah places richness in their heart, organizes their affairs, and the world comes to them humbled. Conversely, when one's sole focus is worldly, they invite chaos into their lives." Just reflect on history. Many influential figures who altered the course of humanity spent their lives committed to meaningful endeavors rather than romantic pursuits. The question then becomes, are you wasting precious time chasing momentary romance, or are you utilizing this time to connect with Allah and build a future that aligns with your purpose? When you prioritize Allah first, everything else begins to fall into its rightful place. The fourth reason that Allah is watching over you is that He is teaching you how to exercise control over your desires instead of allowing them to control you. Let's be honest, we are not robots. Every human being has emotions, desires, and an innate yearning for companionship. Islam does not demand that we suppress our feelings. Instead, it guides us to discipline them within the boundaries of faith. This is where true believers distinguish themselves from those who merely yield to their impulses. The Quran states, "But as for he who feared the position of his Lord and prevented the soul from inclination, then indeed paradise will be his refuge." The difference between a strong person and a weak one lies in self-control. Can you harness your desires, or do they govern your actions? In our current world, many individuals drift along without acknowledging accountability, readily indulging in whatever feels good in the moment. If you're grappling with this challenge, understand that this very struggle is a mark of your faith. If Allah has blessed you with awareness of what He has forbidden and the strength to resist, then you are already on a unique path. The goal is to redirect your emotions toward more meaningful pursuits. Islam teaches us that mastering our impulses will ultimately lead us to true fulfillment. The question remains, are you spending this time building your resilience, or are you succumbing to the cycles that lead many astray? The fifth reason Allah may be keeping love at bay is to teach you that true fulfillment comes from Him alone. In today's society, the narrative often insists that happiness is contingent upon a relationship. Singleness can feel like a flaw, while being in a relationship is viewed as validation. However, Islam teaches us a different truth. Our genuine fulfillment emanates from our relationship with Allah. As human beings, we are innately weak and dependent. We require Allah's guidance and mercy to thrive. The issue arises when people attempt to fill their emptiness with relationships, believing that another person can complete them or heal their wounds. In reality, no human can occupy the void that is meant only for Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, beautifully articulated this principle. Whoever seeks the pleasure of Allah at the cost of displeasing people, Allah will be pleased with him and will cause people to be pleased with him. But whoever seeks to please people at the cost of displeasing Allah, Allah will be displeased with him and will cause people to be displeased with him too. If you feel a sense of loneliness or find that love has never seemed to work out, perhaps Allah is encouraging you to strengthen your connection with Him before seeking love from others. No matter how passionate or strong a relationship may be, it is ultimately transient. The only love that is everlasting, the love that remains steadfast through trials and triumphs, is Allah's love. The crucial question then becomes, are you seeking validation from other people, or are you aiming to draw closer to the one who created you? When you cultivate peace with Allah, everything else will naturally follow in the right time. The sixth reason Allah may be preparing you is that He is setting the stage for something greater in your life. Sometimes when love seems out of reach, it's not a signal of rejection, it is preparation. Allah may be removing certain relationships from your life, not to deprive you, but to pave the way for something immensely better than you can currently envision. Perhaps it's a test designed to cultivate your heart, a hint that a higher calling awaits you, or a lesson that will redefine your life forever. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated, "No slave of Allah will truly believe until he believes in divine decree, both the good and the bad, and until he understands that what has befallen him was never going to miss him, and what missed him was never meant to be his." Let's look at the lives of remarkable scholars, leaders, and visionaries. Many did not fill their time with romantic entanglements. Instead, they dedicated themselves to pursuits that elevated society. And in their commitment, they found fulfillment beyond worldly relationships. So, if love feels elusive or distant, consider asking yourself if this could signal that you are being prepared for something greater. Perhaps a test of patience, a calling of significance, or an essential lesson that could change your life profoundly. Finally, the seventh reason that Allah is emphasizing your patience may become your greatest test. In life, nothing occurs without purpose. If love has been withheld from you, it is not by accident. It is a deliberate examination of your patience, trust, and ability to submit to Allah's plan rather than surrendering your heart to fleeting desires. Many individuals stumble during this test. They rush into relationships, often ignoring the critical question of whether their actions please Allah. Loneliness may push others towards what is haram, but those who opt for patience, those who prioritize faith over momentary feelings, are the ones whom Allah honors. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever remains patient, Allah will make him patient." And no one is given a gift more valuable and vast than patience. Patience is not merely waiting, it is entrusting Allah with your future. When you consider what is kept from you, have faith that if Allah has withheld something, it is because He holds knowledge far beyond yours. Ask yourself if you will let loneliness lead you to desperation, or if you will use this time to fortify your relationship with Allah. Every challenge you face now shapes you for what awaits in the future. My dear brothers and sisters, if the notion of love continually feels distant, know this: it is not a punishment but a part of Allah's divine design. Whether it is to shelter you, prepare you, or enhance your faith, Allah never withholds an opportunity without reasoning behind it. So the real question rests with you. Do you trust His perfect timing, or are you still chasing that which He is guiding you away from? Before you lay down to sleep tonight, reflect on these pivotal inquiries. Have I exercised patience with Allah's plan, or have I rushed in pursuit of my own? Am I seeking love in ways that align with Allah's teachings, or have I succumbed to my desires? If I were to stand before Allah today, would I find satisfaction in the choices I've made? Here is a simple supplication for you to carry with you. O Allah, grant me patience in what I do not comprehend and contentment with what you have ordained for me. If this message has resonated with your heart, please take a moment to comment. Ya Allah, make me content with your plan below. Your words might inspire someone else who is wrestling with similar trials. And if you found this reminder touching, don't forget to like and subscribe. It may be a small act for you, but it immensely assists us in disseminating messages that draw us closer to Allah. May Allah guide us, safeguard our hearts, and bless us with that which is truly best for us. Ameen.